Hi Aries, and welcome to your weekly tarot reading. So this will take you from the 3rd to the 10th of July. And just give me a minute, Aries. You've got quite intense reading, but I got four really powerful majors. The Judgment card, emotional rebirth, with the Tower paired together. So it's like there's this huge epiphany moment, which is going to lead to this incredible sense of gratitude, of joy, just to be alive. I'm just asking for additional guidance card. The bottom of the deck is the Moon card. The Moon card is about embracing the unknown. Okay, it's very often, it's also the Karma card, and all I mean when I say that is these deep and profound connections that we have with other people in our lives. Okay, these always they're always very, very deep karmic connections with our family, but more than that, we have soulmates, we have something like that. So it's definitely a theme of mysterious connections for you, Aries. The Devil's a crowning card, so you might feel a bit, when the Devil shows up, he tends to feel like something's been blocked, okay? So do be careful, first of all, of any obvious addictions, which would be the Devil, okay? Be careful of anything like codependency. Now, because codependency would be I need to be with that person. Okay, that's not what love is about. Okay, love is two separate pillars standing separately, but in relationship with each other. So be careful of anything like that. But there's this sense of, I've got this incredible sense of, oh, it's really interesting. You just got the Peace card. And yeah, I've got this incredible sense of mystery for you, Aries, of this very deep unknown energy. But feeling with the Devil as a crowning card, that there's some sort of roadblock, okay, some sort of no, but when the Devil shows up, it's there for a reason. It's there because you're ready to blast through restrictions, obstacles that are in your path, okay? He's not a trickery card, he's one of life's lessons, okay? The Devil's also about, if you look clearly, this person's in flames. So it's about transformation, it's about burning through, it's about change. But there's definitely this incredible mysterious energy that will not go away from me, that's surrounding you. But you start the week with the Ten of Pentacles. So this is great money news first, but it's also about having an open heart, basically. Being open. Being an open book rather than someone who's shut down and who's separate. Letting people in. Sharing yourself, which is true abundance, you know. With the World card, so the World card is about the end of a karmic cycle and the beginning of the new one. Now you're the third sign to get the World card. Huge, because the World card is something that's really been worked for, okay? You've had to work through all the lessons. You've had to overcome some incredible challenges to get to the World card, and you've got it with the 10. So for some, this could be a new career starting that you've worked really hard to get. It could just be the ending of a psychological place where rather than being separate and closed, you're open, you're happy to share. You've reached this epiphany, because right next to it is a Tower with the Judgment card. I mean, these three majors together are absolutely huge. The Tower card, ultimately, it can have a destructive element to it for some. It's so so unusual to have it in a destructive element, and I have to say I've not had it this way for ages. It's an awakening card. It's when we awaken to the old sense of self. It's when we awaken to the energies that were keeping us stuck, that were keeping us trapped. So there's a really deep relationship between these cards, guys, basically. So we meet the devil, we meet those parts of us that say no, we meet our fears, and as we look at the devil right in the eye, we become awakened. We become awakened, we see our fears for what they were, an illusion, and then we let go of the old structures and we become reborn. We rise out of that old way of being and we get a new chance at life. We basically become reborn. I don't know what else to say, but absolutely incredible combination of cards. There is so much power for you, Aries, if you want it. And you get it by looking at the devil straight in the eye. Because it always appears as you can't do this, don't do this, you're not this enough. But once we start to look at those beliefs, the devil basically grants us access and we get to pass through it. We get this epiphany, this awakening, which comes the judgment card, which comes the world, and we get our completion and we get our new beginnings. Huge, huge, huge week, and it's something to do with some deep bond, Aries, that's what I'm getting, which could be a family matter, a housing matter, something to do with your mother, being a parent, some sort of relational thing. You then enter the Five of Wands. So after all this awakening, we're always going forwards and backwards. So the tide goes out, and then it comes in, it goes out and in. That's just the nature of reality. So you get a little bit stressed here. The Five of Wands is that sense of angst, just sort of maybe being quite heated on an internal level, so a little bit stressed. Now it's with the Ace of Cups, which is seeing through the eyes of love. You're in charge of the minor arcanas, so we can choose. I know it's hard if we're going to react to our environment or we're going to respond with love. This is also a whole new emotional chapter beginning. So after all this huge awakening, which is all majors, you're not in charge, it's happening. This sort of sense of coming into your own power, coming into your sense of self is happening if you oblige or not, guys. But you are in charge of these minors. You're in charge if you see through the eyes of love or you see through the eyes of stress. This is potentially a whole new emotional chapter happening. You're not in charge of this ace either. It's divine love. It's perfectly aligned. It's don't even try to resist it. It's your resistance that causes the problems in our lives, okay? This is when the Tower becomes more destructive, when we resist the changes that want to happen, okay? Change isn't easy for anyone at all, but Aries represents courage and it represents passion, and if anyone has got the courage to face change, it's Aries, okay? So you don't resist this change and new chapters happen. I know it's not easy, guys, I'm not. But there's still a sense of resistance for the end of the week. This is you pulling back, guarding your heart. Because I just think this is the way it happens. We have this huge awakening processes and then we retreat again. And then we move back forward again. So don't give any big energy to this card, Maybe there's a need to pull back. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe your energy needs to go elsewhere because it's with the King of Pentacles. Maybe you need to focus on your well-being, on your body. What are you eating? Are you grounded? Look after your stability a bit, the more practical sides of life. Because none of us can be at this energy all the time, okay? This is like one of these days that, you know, they happen in our lives where everything starts to make sense. Our reality makes perfect sense. We, you know, the devil says pass, and we start to get this new emotional chapter. Things start to resolve themselves. And then, you know, there comes a point where we need to pull back a bit to reserve our energy, to rest for our next period of growth, because there's always one that's going to follow after this one. So I've got that for your, you know, the end of your week, the need to look after your foundation, which is the King of Pentacles. This could be an earth sign person, and you're quite pulling back from them. I don't know. Different things to different people, but I've more got you needing to reserve your energy, because that's one of the things we have to do in life, is protect and look after our energy and our resources, and that essentially what the King of Pentacles is about, if he's not this earth sign person. Huge reading, Aries. I feel quite spinny now. I need to go and take a rest, but don't forget the additional guidance card is peace here. What's been revealed and what's happening in this awakening process is to get you down to your essential self, what you're really about, seeing through the eyes of love, being connected with your heart and your body and your well-being. So if there's any stresses, Aries, just don't feed it. Just don't give it any energy. Just keep going and connect with your heart and your body and your senses, okay? Alright guys, I'll speak to you next week. Bye.